Dear students of class 8A and 8B, welcome to my civics class. Today's points, as mentioned in the board. Look at it. Importance of the PM, political executives, permanent executives, civil servants. First point, importance of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister is very important. The post of Prime Minister is very important, and he always leads a very major role in establishing the importance of the country by framing various policies and by passing various laws through the parliament. Not only that, the Prime Minister during his 5 years of tenure tries to establish government's stand so that that effect must come in next 5 years election. That's why the Prime Minister always selects selects the designatories, selects the persons as the Council of Ministers or as the deputy ministers or as the ministers of the states or as cabinet ministers, while selecting them to be deputy minister, cabinet minister, council of ministers. The Prime Minister keep it one thing in his mind, with whom he was going to choose, whether the persons would be eligible for the all-round development of the country. That means the Prime Minister gives importance to those people who already have done well for the all-round development of the country as political leaders. That's why the Prime Minister chooses very, very important persons as Deputy Minister, Council of Ministers and Cabinet Ministers. Not only that, the Prime Minister's role in the House of Parliament is very important. Sometimes few ministers fail to clarify some issues raised by some members of parliament. But in that case, the Prime Minister always helps his colleagues by clarifying the same issue, same matters with necessary informations. The Prime Minister, travels various countries of the world. During his visit in different parts of the world, the Prime Minister tries to establish government stands, country's stand, and glorifies the image of the country. The Prime Minister attends various meetings and seminars under UN, under SARC, under Commonwealth, and delivers good speeches and proves that the country India is a country and follows a policy of non-intervention and a policy of mutual cooperation, mutual understanding, brotherhood and healthy relationship among all the countries of the world. That's why the role of the Prime Minister is very important. Next point, political executives. Who are known as political executives? The President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are collectively known as political executives. The political executives, that means all the political executive means the President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible for the all-round development of the country, are collectively responsible for the growth and development of the country and collectively responsible for any kind of problems of the country. That's why in order to assist their works means the works of the political executives, a group of another executives are appointed, means permanent executives. In order to assist the work of the political executives, permanent executives are appointed. Now, who are permanent executives? The permanent executives are those officers who generally sits for competitive exams like Indian Administrative Service, Indian Foreign Service, Indian Police Service, means West Bengal Civil Service, WBCS, IAS, IPS, like that. And apart from this, another important was the Indian Public Service Commission. These are the exams which are held throughout the country. They generally They generally take part in these exams, and by passing the exam successfully, they are directly appointed as the permanent executives, means bureaucrats in the administration, and they work steadily as the assistant of the political executives. So the political executives are assisted, the political executives are helped officially by whom? By the permanent executives. Political executives may not be executives after having completed their 5 years of term. Suppose one political party failed to perform well in their election, and could not form government in the center, in the country, and instead of the former political party, a new political party formed the government. In that case, the former political leaders would be unable to be political executives. The new political executives will be formed. Since the new government will be formed, automatically new political executives also will be formed. But permanent executives, they are permanent executives until they are doing unconstitutional works. They would not be dismissed from their posts. So these posts are permanent posts. That's why they are known as permanent executives. Political parties may be changed, governments may be changed, but permanent executives always assist them. Permanent executive always assists them. The permanent executives will be assisting them during the 10 years of different governments of the country. And next point, civil servants. Who are known as civil servants? Those who generally sits for competitive exams like Indian Administrative Service, Indian Foreign Service, Indian Police Service, IPS, IAS, civil service, like that. They are known as civil servants, like IAS, IPS. After having those who generally pass IPS exam, Indian Police Service exam, they can be appointed directly as the SDPO, subdivisional officer of a subdivisional town, and afterwards, by getting promotion, they can be superintendent of district police, means district police superintendent, and then superintendent of a police of a city. So by this way, they generally get promotion, but initially they have to pass IPS, Indian Police Service. Similarly, IAS, Indian Administrative Service. The persons who generally pass Indian Administrative Service, initially they may be subdivisional officer of any subdivisional town, and later on deputy DM, district magistrate, and afterwards executive, permanent executive in the administration of the state. By this way, they generally get promotion, and they become permanent executives. They become, civil servants in the administration. So by this way, all these powers and responsibilities are given to the civil servants, to the permanent executives, and permanent executives works always in consultation with the political executives. No work can be done by the permanent executive without being consented by the permanent executives. Each and every step, the permanent executive's decision is final. In the government, suppose one government is formed and the permanent executives are being, the permanent executives work in consultation with the political executives. So initially the permanent executives are to know the will, the stance of and the policies of the political executives. By knowing the agenda of a political party, by knowing the policies of the government, by knowing the will of the political executives, permanent executives work, and they work in consultation with the political executive, so that the point of difference may be found out. That's why, my dear students, the role of political executive also is important. At the same time, the role of the permanent executive also is important. And the government, a government can achieve success only when there is a good interaction between the permanent executive and the political executives. Permanent executives sometimes become they may be, the permanent executives may be, sometimes they cannot satisfy the needs and expectations of the government, means of the political executives. In that case, sometimes the political executives may get them transferred, but that's why their promotion depends on how they can get the political executives satisfied. That's why the role of the permanent executives also is important. The role of the political executives also important. But generally, the executives who are faithful to the government, the permanent executives, the political executives choose them as their permanent executives and generally allow them to work in consultation with them. And in that case, the permanent executives, get promoted because of their amiability, because of their skills, because of their talents, and the skills by which they generally try to impress the political executives. And another point that is also important, the point is, Prime Minister's role. Prime Minister's role means Prime Minister is not only the link between the cabinet and the president, but also the Prime Minister is a link between the between the parliament and the president. Each and every part of discussion is thoroughly discussed. Each and every discussion of the parliament in presence of the speaker, sometimes during the visit of Prime Minister for president's office, these matters are thoroughly discussed with the president. But it is depending on the wish of the Prime Minister, whether he will discuss these issues. Sometimes controversial matters, sometimes controversy may be arised, relationship between these two wings, relations between the two wings of the Constitution, the Prime Minister and the President. Sometimes maybe their relationship may be, maybe their relation may be interrupted, their relationship, which should be very cordial, their relationship cannot, their relation, there are some interpretations required on the part of the Prime Minister, but on the part of the President of India, but sometimes they misunderstand each other, and in that case, due to their relationship, sometimes the relationship are strained, and in that case, the Prime Minister always avoids discussing these various issues with the President. But the President is required to take permission of the Prime Minister. But the President cannot seek permission of the Prime Minister. The President also can avoid the Prime Minister. But the Prime Minister's suggestion and advice is important. The Prime Minister is bound to advise the President to break the Lok Sabha and to, to appoint the ministers, to appoint the judges of the Supreme Court, to appoint the judges of the High Courts. So these are the important works the Prime Minister has to inform the President to do it so. So the teaching of this lesson is completed, and before I start the next lesson, you please go through the book. If you have any confusion, let me know, I shall help you.